Welcome to IoT Leadership Matters, where leadership matters, a series of conversations with leadership experts, great leaders, great thinkers, and inspiring human beings. Absolutely delighted today to be joined by Steve Hill MBE. Let me go through the list of amazing things that Steve has done in his spare time in the school holidays. He has climbed Kilimanjaro, Mont Blanc. He's been to Everest Base Camp. He's climbed Mount Elbrus, which is the highest mountain in Europe. He's completed the Tenzing Hillary Mount Everest Marathon, the UVU North Pole Marathon, the Petra Desert Marathon, the Uganda Marathon, the Amazon Jungle Ultra Marathon, the Arctic Ice Ultra Marathon, and he's set up Team Hill Charitable Trust, supporting a range of causes and projects in Uganda. And he is the deputy head and year 6 teacher at St Joseph's RC Primary School in Oldham. And in 2015, quite rightly, he was awarded the MBE for services to charity and education. He has 9 days in the week when the rest of us have just 7. Steve, thank you so much for joining me. What I want to know first is, that was a list of the things that you've done, and that obviously includes your job as well as a primary school teacher. But what I want to know is, who are you?
Hi, Sarah. Great to meet you, and thanks for inviting me on today.
Pleasure.
So who am I? Yes, and thank you for that long list. Helps me to realise, what I've done over the last 10 years. But first and foremost, I am a primary school teacher, and it is the greatest privilege in the world to be part of these children's lives and obviously part of their education. But a long time ago now, I realised that these children need a little bit more than just the curriculum within the classroom. For me, it's really important that I try and inspire these children beyond the classroom. I have a mantra of dreaming big, that everyone's entitled to have big dreams, and no one has a right to tell you your dreams are too big. But we have to believe in those dreams ourselves, and it's important that I get out there and I practice what I preach to the children. I show them what is possible through self-belief, hard work and determination, and most importantly, never giving up when things get tough. Something I've found that really is lacking in schools these days is resilience. The easy option is often to quit, so I'm hopefully showing these children that, we don't quit, we keep going. Left foot, right foot, repeat, keep moving forward, and anything in life is possible. So I am about, like I say, equipping these children hopefully with life skills and inspiration and aspirations to get out there and, make a difference in the world and be the best they can be, whatever they do.
So one of the things that we've identified within the IoT is that in order to be a successful leader and subsequently a successful human being, you need to identify what you believe your purpose is. And then off the back of that, decision making, direction, everything comes from that core or that foundation of having a purpose. And I think you've probably just explained it, but what do you believe your purpose is?
Yeah, I feel that my purpose is to inspire this generation of children and young people, as I say, to get out there and to make a difference, but to believe in themselves. Nothing upsets me more than young children with very little aspirations, that they feel there's nothing out there for them, that they're not good enough, that they're being told this often by many people. And I'm getting the message across to them, hopefully, that you're very special, you're a unique individual, you are entitled to have big dreams like anybody else, but you've got to start believing in it and showing that, often the worst enemy is themselves, self-doubt, and to show them that, a normal person, a primary school teacher like myself, during school holidays, at the end of a busy half term, can go out and achieve some of these very challenging, personal challenges around the world that people think are totally bonkers. And, I'd often find that, and being called bonkers is quite a compliment, but be able to involve the children within these challenges that get more and more extreme each year, with the preparation, with the training, with the food that I take. And ultimately, it's great to be able to share it with them when I come back from the adventures. And it does have an impact on them. I do see a difference with the children that I teach, that their self-belief, that their belief in themselves, that the levels of resilience certainly increase. And I want to open up that world to these children and say, it's your world, it's your life, you are the future, and go out there and be the best that you can be and believe in yourself. And, try and make a difference. I think that's my purpose, is to try and make a difference. That's what we're all here for, to make a small difference.
Absolutely. So you've mentioned the word resilience. We are recording this during the COVID-19 pandemic. So resilience is a big word at the moment. What I want to try and understand is, if you can think back to all of these amazing things that you've done, is perhaps a moment when things got particularly difficult in one of your adventures, and how you pushed yourself through that, and how we as human beings can develop our own resilience. Is it something that you feel that's come naturally to you, or did you have to build it over time? Was there a single moment that you went, right, I've got to push myself through that, and then everything else after that felt easier? I'm trying to understand, because you're clearly very resilient yourself.
Yeah, and maybe it's something I've developed over the years. I've always been into the outdoors, always played a lot of sports, and then most recently, for the last 10 years, taking on these challenges. And I'm a firm believer in positive mindsets, that your mindset has to be right. You know, the mind's right, the body will follow, and it's about being strong in mind. And when I do go on these challenges, and I talk to children about it, the mindset flicks into challenge mode, and whatever gets thrown at you, without a doubt, you keep going. And yeah, there are some dark moments on the challenges. You can imagine, you know, in the Amazon jungle, for example, Arctic wilderness, running 6 marathons in 5 days, and you're running through the night, you're on your own, lots of mind games, lots of little voices saying, come on, let's have a rest, it's time to rest up. And you keep listening to that little voice that keeps saying, come on, you're here for a reason, you can do it, you can, you will. And we keep moving forward. And the little mantra of left foot, right foot, repeat. And, you know, a message to try and get across to young people when I'm speaking to them, that it is about just keep moving forward, whether that is in exams, you break these big, unimaginable challenges into small, manageable little chunks, and you keep achieving small little steps and keep looking back, how far you've come, give yourself a pat on the back, and just keep moving forward. And, you know, these ultra marathons, I break it down into a day at a time, but they're more than that. It's a step at a time. It's a mile at a time. It's one checkpoint at a time. And it's then getting to that finish line of day 1. And let's start day 2. Let's not worry about day 5 until day 5 comes. But you ask about a moment where I did have to dig deep, if you like, with the resilience. And there's one that really does stick in my mind, and it's the trainer story. So it was the Amazon jungle ultra marathon, 6 marathons in 5 days. So it was 250 kilometres, self-supported. I'd never done anything like this before. But having done the North Pole Marathon, I wanted to really up the ante and, again, push the boundaries further. A great adventure. So I finished stage 1, ran a marathon through the Amazon jungle. You come into camp and you have a bit of routine. You put your hammock up at night. You get a little bit of food down you. You get yourself sorted. You get your wet clothes off. You try and get 3 or 4 hours sleep. And you can imagine in a hammock in the jungle. And then up in the morning and everything in reverse, hammock down, a little bit of food down if you can, and then get to the start line ready for stage 2. So the morning of stage 2, feeling strong, feeling positive, raring to go, getting myself sorted, and went down to pick up my trainers. And my left trainer had a real big 6-inch rip down the side of it, which I hadn't noticed the following day. I don't know how I'd done it. And I sat there in complete disbelief. I was in the middle of the Amazon jungle, having completed stage 1, raring to go for stage 2. I'd invested so much into this adventure, and I was sitting there looking at my left trainer with a big 6-inch rim down the side and thinking, that's it, it's game over. How can I continue on this race? I've got another 5 marathons to run. And I did admittedly feel sorry for myself, and for 10 or 15 seconds it was game over. And then I gave my head a bit of a shake, and I thought about the children back at school and the people who'd invested and were supporting me in this. And I thought, no, let's get on with it. I got the gaffer tape out and the zip ties out, and I pushed on. And it wasn't ideal. And my feet at the end of this, you know, this ultra marathon were in absolute state, swollen. I lost 6 toenails, but I finished what I started. I got to the finish line, and I have the trainer. I actually have the trainer here with me as we speak, with the rip down the side. And I take this on talks with me. And people said, "Oh, you sent the trainers back, get your money back." You know, it's important that happened. And I've kept the trainer because it's a memory from the trip, but there's a message behind that, and I do take it when I do talks, because the trainer is a little bit like life. We work hard for what we want to achieve in life. We cover all eventualities, all angles, but sometimes things happen that we don't expect and don't plan for, as in the trainer. And it's how we respond to those setbacks in life that determines how far we go in life. We can either feel sorry for ourselves and blame everybody else around us and take no responsibility at all and then quit. Or we can take responsibility, we don't have to like it, but take responsibility, say, this is my problem, and look for solutions. Get the gaffer tape out, get the zip ties out, and push on. And I just think it's a nice, you know, little message that, you know, to give out there to young people, that things will go wrong, We'll all get setbacks in life, and it's about learning from those setbacks and ultimately not quitting. And whatever that may be in life, whatever journey people are on in life, it could be exams, it could be other little setbacks in life, whatever it is, we don't quit. We learn from it and we accept it. And it's, it's okay to fail at things. I think that's some things that young people don't accept, that failure is definitive. That's it. You can't be a failure, but you can fail at things. It's about learning from it and pushing on.
And it's very true for leaders. So people within the IOT are relatively new leaders, or certainly within the context within the Army Cadet Force. And I think that there is that expectation that you've been given this fabulous responsibility of leadership, and I've got to be absolutely perfect. And the reality is that nobody can be like that. And the greatest way to learn, as you've just said, is by making mistakes.
Absolutely.
And admitting to those mistakes, and being open and honest, and finding a path through it, which I think is really important. I think the other thing that I picked up from what you were saying, and the trainer is just a brilliant representation, isn't it? I hope that everybody that's now watching this is going to have that ripped trainer in their mind, and they'll go back to it when times get hard. It just works brilliantly. But the other thing that I noticed is this kind of conversation that you have with yourself in your mind, which a lot of us have, don't we? We can talk ourselves out of things, and we can talk ourselves into things. And I think that that's the really important thing, is being able to have that sort of that almost not split personality, but that conversation where you can self-motivate yourself is so important when things get tough.
Without a doubt. There will always be those voices when things are tough and things are hurting, and the easy option would always be to give up. That voice is always there, isn't it? And unfortunately, people sometimes listen to that voice. Young people, young children will, it's a problem in front of them. It's easy not to bother with it. And you often hear that word, I can't, sir. I can't do it. The word can't is banned in my classroom, and it's regarded as a swear word, but you do see it, and at all ages, right through. But there's always going to be those little voices that say, come on, keep going, keep putting that left foot in front of the right foot. There's a reason you started this, let's get it finished. And it's about listening to that voice, knowing. I'll go back to that self-belief. It is about that self-belief. We can all do it, but we've got to believe it ourselves, isn't it? Self-belief, hard work. Nothing's going to come without hard work, and determination to finish the job that you start, and then never giving up when things get tough. I think that, for me, encapsulates everything about, achieving things in life. And once you've achieved what you've started, look for your next goal, your next big dream. Where are you going next? People said to me when I do these races, what position did you come? Did you come first? And it's not about positions for me. It's about being the best that I can be. That setting these challenges, which is often the biggest hurdle, making that decision to start a challenge, getting to the start line in good condition, and getting to the finish line. And enjoying that journey in between. I think in life in general, whatever that may be, isn't it? Start something, finish it, but enjoy the journey. Enjoy that journey.
Yes. And I think also, so you made a very valid point about competition. And we tend to feel that in our society now, and I have to say that I think the media plays a large part in this. We tend to feel that we are continually in competition with other people. And I know this from things that I've done in my life. And actually, the only competition I have is the competition that I have with myself.
Yes, so, absolutely.
I've never run a marathon or an ultra marathon, but the more and more I talk to people like you who have done these things, I think, right, maybe that's what I'm going to do next, but we'll see.
I was going to say yet. You've not run one yet.
Not done one yet. You're absolutely right. Not this week, anyway. That actually, the more I realise that the only competition I have is with myself, and improving myself and pushing myself and pushing myself through those moments that I feel like stopping, the more successful I become. So, the fact that perhaps on occasions you don't even know what position you've come in the marathon, but the fact that you've started and you've finished, that's everything. And if we can all start to just be more competitive with ourselves, then I think we will all find life that much easier.
Absolutely. And there's lots of pressure now with young people in social media, isn't there? More than ever, I think it's all about comparing themselves to other people all the time and judging whether they're a success or failure about how they compare with other people. And to be in a hall of 200 young people from age 4 to age 11, or to be doing a talk to teenagers, and to be able to get that message across them that it doesn't matter how you compare to other people, it's about being the best version of yourself that you can possibly be. I know it's hard at a young age. They are looking at other people and comparing themselves. But the sooner they get that message across to them, and the sooner they believe that message, that it's about themselves being the best that they can be, and how valuable and how wonderful they are, and just worried about, as I said, being the best that they can be at what they do.
Okay, so Steve, it's very clear to me that this is what you're instilling in young people because it's what you believe in, and you're going out there and setting an example, etc., etc. And within the Army Cadet Force, our leaders, so our officers, are largely leading other leaders, other adult leaders, but also young people as well. But what they've moved from is being very kind of child focused in terms of their delivery to being now leaders and managers of other adults. What I want to talk to you about is obviously being a deputy head teacher as well. You are leading other adults who are subsequently inspiring young people. How do we what advice can you give to people that are leading adults, but specifically in terms of motivating them to motivate young people, if you see what I mean? Because not everybody's going to share your passion.
No, they don't. But you like to think people coming into the Army Cadets or coming into management positions have got that reason for doing that, isn't it? That the reason is to inspire others. You do hope that's the case. And for me, I was always told it's about leading by example first and foremost, isn't it? Not asking anybody to do anything that you wouldn't be willing to do yourself. Having a clear vision of where you want people to go, sharing your vision with them in a clear, succinct way, keeping it simple, and just sharing your passion, isn't it? And hopefully that they buy into your passion too, isn't it? And being enthusiastic in all that you do. And we talked about earlier about having, failures. If you do make mistakes and failures, holding your hand up, isn't it? Because I don't think anyone likes leaders who claim never to make mistakes, who claim to know all the answers. To as a leader, understand that you're not going to have all the answers and know where to go to find the answers if you need to, isn't it? But I'm always a believer in following, leading by example. If you lead by example and people buy into your vision, then they will follow you, won't they? That's my belief.
Yeah, I have nothing to add to that other than I can completely agree with it, and I think that the majority of people who will be watching and listening to this would agree exactly the same thing. If you're passionate, pass that passion on. But I think also the other thing is don't always expect everybody to be as on board or as passionate about it, and at some point accept that. There is going to be that sort of disparity between your passion and their passion, but it's something that they, it's not going to work.
No, absolutely, yeah.
So, and then the next thing is really, we need more leaders in the world. I believe that we should be starting to develop leadership potential from a very young age, or starting to instill in young people those leadership skills and the ability to be a leader, because everybody has that potential, and certainly that's what we're doing in the Army Cadet Force. Is this something that you are doing within your school? Is it something we should be doing within our schools?
Absolutely. I think, like I say, everyone's got it within them to be a leader, and you do naturally often see within a class of children, within a school of children, the natural leaders. I'll often set my classes, team challenges, whatever they may be, getting from one end of the yard to the other, using just bottle crates and so forth. And there's always naturally that person or them couple who come up with the answers and come up with the suggestions, and others will follow. Equally so as the other different characters there who will often put the blockers up. But they do stand out as natural leaders. But I think it's about developing those leadership skills amongst all those children and giving them all the opportunities, because they can be quite often dominated by these individuals, can't they? These individuals who have those strong characters, and others will just naturally listen to them and follow. And it's about getting across that you don't have to be a follower. You've got your own opinions, get those opinions put forward. Now, within my class, my lot always do the Young Leaders programme throughout the year. So it's about developing them as sports leaders. So giving them opportunity to look about the theory behind being a leader on a small scale, and then delivering small sided games and sports activities with younger children within the school. And they help to run the sports days as well in the summer. And it's great to see how they interact with younger children and naturally become a leader. Some very shy, very, unassuming children who suddenly come to the fore and are displaying leadership capabilities. Okay, this is 11 years old, but as I said, right throughout their time at school and beyond, they should be getting these opportunities. And I'm a big supporter of the Duke of Edinburgh Awards. I think that's a fantastic scheme that, Year 9 children get to embark upon. And I've become an ambassador for the DAB Awards, and the great privilege of giving out awards down at Buckingham Palace and at St James's Palace, which is the greatest honour, because these children who've achieved, or these young people, who've achieved the bronze, silver and gold awards, they've achieved something very special there and demonstrated that they are, the future. They are, our future leaders, if you like. But I do find that a lot of my past pupils do embark upon the DAB Awards and find it very challenging, but they stick at it, and it's great to see them being part of that. And a lot of them do come back to school to do the voluntary work. And last year down at St James's Palace, I had the great honour of awarding the Gold Award to two of my past pupils who are now at university, which was a real special occasion. Never thought that when they were in year 6, 11 years old, that they'd been doing that. And that's really special moments. So again, it's about definitely giving opportunities at whatever level that may be for leadership.
Okay. So on the opportunities front, where are you going next? What's your next challenge?
My next challenge, well, this year I had the luckily I had a place in the London Marathon, which has been postponed down to October. Yeah. I was going back to Uganda to do the Uganda Marathon again, which has been put back now to 2021. But the big challenge for this year, in August, fingers crossed it goes ahead, is the Great Norse Run. It's 9 marathons in 10 days, running from the north of Iceland through to the south of Iceland, which sounds quite exciting. So, yeah, distance-wise, it'll be the longest distance I've run. I am excited about it, trying to get as much training as I can in with my hour slots going out for running at the moment, in between school, obviously. But, yeah, hopefully it'll go ahead. If it doesn't go ahead, so be it. There's always next year. But that's the next challenge. And then beyond that, keep pushing the boundaries. See what's possible. I do want to climb Mount Everest one day. Yeah. Absolutely. And you're very welcome to join me after you've done your first marathon.
Deal.
But I assure you, I am not a runner. I'm not a mountain climber. I'm just a very determined individual who wants to push the boundaries for myself, see what I'm capable of, but equally so to use those challenges to inspire this next generation of all ages, and to be able to share my experiences, share my challenges with these people is a great honour, and something I never thought I'd get the opportunity to do. But it is about pushing the boundaries, but believing in yourself and working hard to achieve those goals that you set for yourselves.
Steve, I absolutely love that, and I just wanted to end this with one of the quotes that you use at school and that you have on your website, and it is, "I can and I will." And I think that is so valuable. And if we can walk through our lives with that mantra going over in our heads, "I can and I will," then I think that we will start to see so many more people going out there and doing amazing things with their lives, which is absolutely fantastic. So this is IoT Leadership Matters, where Leadership Matters, a series of conversations with leaders, leadership thinkers, amazing human beings, including Steve. Steve, it's been an absolute pleasure to talk to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sarah. Really enjoyed it. Thank you.